Hello and welcome back to the No Hair All Heart podcast. I'm your host and author, Mookie Spitz, reading from my new sci-fi novel. We are on page 130 of the paperback of Jonnie Fazoolie and the Transfinite Reality Engine. We last left our hero, Jonnie Fazoolie, lost in the lobby of the Karma Casino after he's come to the realization that he has been scammed by an even bigger scammer than he is. He hired a dark web expert in black hat hacking to try to get into his crypto wallet, of which he forgot his seed key. No luck there. And Jonnie now has realized that he is broke, destitute, over $62 million worth of cryptocurrency lost to him. What now and what next? Reading number 20 in section 2, episode 2 of the book. Every color you lick. Commotion builds behind the main conference room's doors, which keep opening and closing as curious people sporadically enter and freaked out people impulsively exit. What's going on? He's again tempted to at least peer inside, but his ego again gets the worst of him. What began as a thrilling opportunity is now dismissed as a gargantuan waste of time. Total shit sandwich. Amplifying his despair is not only losing Mamacita, his multi-million-dollar crypto nut and latest greatest idea for a scam, but the German dominatrix scientist who teased him with this crap in the first place. Starting with nothing and arriving with even less, his mania compels him to conclude he's either a master of the universe or a piece of shit. No room left for being a regular guy, let alone a Fazool. His entire life, Jonnie has either tried too hard or not enough. Mediocrity plenty to get most folks on through. Fazoolie has fallen to either end of the bell curve, wrung out high and dry. That incessant identity crisis confuses everyone, especially him, making it increasingly difficult for Jonnie to effectively discriminate between friends and foes, frenemies and fiends. In terms of people who matter, Jonnie divides the world into 3 categories. Number 1, suckers. Number 2, other hustlers. And number 3, cops and enforcers. Players like Sato cover all the bases, offering stiff competition. Sato Hasura is his little bitch here of a hacker. Sato Nakamoto is the individual or collective who developed Bitcoin and the first blockchain. Coincidence? Jonnie doesn't think so. Nakamoto's location has been tracked to the US and Europe. The code was too sophisticated for a single individual to write, with time zones too Greenwich for someone in Japan to post them. Candidates have ranged from an Australian physicist to a Hungarian cryptographer. Jonnie Sato, meanwhile, is far too young, dumb, and full of cum, yet has staked his own claim. Jonnie has witnessed the savant's genuine gifts firsthand, mind-blowing and jaw-dropping feats of mathematical dexterity, numerical memorization, and all-around geeky calisthenics. About 2% of the population has synesthesia, their brains combining cognitive and sensory pathways and variations that to untainted people seem bizarre, magical, and often impossible. So-called synesthetes blend various kinds of perceptions in odd but consistent ways. The letter A, for example, can trigger seeing the color red, hearing a C-sharp tone, or feeling jealous. Synesthesia celebrities include Richard Feynman, Vasily Kandinsky, Billy Joel, Yitzhak Perlman, Billie Eilish, and even Kanye West, among many others. The quirk and exotic advantage. These rare prodigies can use their synesthesia as a mnemonic tool, too, demonstrating incredible examples of memorizing long numerical lists by using their personal sensory vocabulary cues. Pause. Check. Check, check. Pause, 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 check. Daniel Tammet made headlines reciting 22,514 digits of pi by seeing the number 1 as a white sunburst, 3 as a dotted green crescent moon shape, 4 as a blue boomerang, and so on. A tiny subpopulation crisscrosses multiple pathways. In Sato's exceptional case here, nearly all of them, to the point he's often overwhelmed by a whirlwind of composite experiences. Blending sensations, the philosophical dichotomy between perception and reality dissolves for sensor and sensed as the Cartesian axiom spawns a tautology. I feel, therefore I think. As such, he's an ultra rare kinesthetic synesthete. His coding more artistic than logical, more fantastic than functional. Often he's busy compiling in left field, but when on point, he's the bomb. Sato, whomever here, didn't develop hypertext markup, BitTorrent protocol, Linux kernel, the id gaming engine, Python, or for that matter, blockchain. But you gotta give credit where credit is due. Corporate espionage, ransomware, and DDoS attacks? Call Sato. Zero-day exploits, crypto laundering, and eavesdropping? Call Sato. Doxing, cyberstalking, and doxing with blackmail? Call Sato. Sato is shady as fuck to his clients, too. Trouble differentiating digital from analog, he's the embodiment of augmented reality, creating composite narcissistic worlds, Sato at their center. Being gay is an arbitrary trait, yet for Sato, somehow essential. Isaac Newton, Ludwig Wittgenstein, Alan Turing batted for his team too, and he's got a similarly creative, mischievous spirit. Ostracized and bullied since childhood, lived who knows where, forever youthful with a playfulness that precludes ever growing up, Sato thinks of himself as being just a little bit naughty. The CIA, NSA, FBI think otherwise, as do the Mossad, ISI, M16, SVR, PLA, Unit 61398, and other cloak and dagger agencies watching billions mysteriously vanish and governments fall. Recalling his charm and gifts, albeit also reminded of his flaws, enables Jonnie to absolve himself of the shame of getting hustled by this talented hustler. Forgive and forget, and keep him on tap. Fuck that. No Sato equals no crypto. Factory reset, destitution. Jonnie calls again, Vmail. Uh-oh, he glitches, twitching, hyperventilating, then collapses, sprawling across the carpet. Hotel security and medical staff alerted. Idle particle physicists and cosmologists leap in to renormalize Jonnie with ice water, vitamin B injections, tequila bangers, and French cigarettes. The shots and smokers seem to work, Jonnie snapping out of it as they grab and lift him back to his feet. Towering over the bespoke consortium, he feels the need to give a TED Talk. Instead, he tells a joke. A cop pulls Heisenberg over for speeding. Do you realize you were going exactly 30 miles over the limit? Scheiße, sighs Werner. Now I'm lost too. The geeks stand and stare at Fazoolie for a few seconds, then burst into hysterical laughter. They slap him on the back, shake his hands, and buy him frozen pina colada at the lobby bar. They gather around with enough critical mass to become a counterpoint to whatever's going on inside the conference. The drunk dorks seem less defiant than disinterested, killing time. Pause. Pause. Number 3, pause. It's 421. Fuck, pause. Science conferences, much like most industry conferences, are generally tedious and boring as fuck. The last thing specialists crushed by peer review want is to sit and listen to their peers. Jonnie hustles the opportunity to get wasted again, but not before trying to find encryption experts among them. If Sato let him down, perhaps one of these nerds is willing to moonlight. The instant he brings up cracking his Bitcoin, several bloviate about the Riemann hypothesis, the proof of which, true or false, wins the Millennial Prize, maybe the entire internet. The zeta function only having non-trivial zeros on the real line 1/2, shouts a drunk number theorist, is subtly connected to the conjecture all prime numbers greater than 2 are the sum of 2 primes. That's easy for you to say, frowns a wasted computer scientist. We've tested them up to the number 40 quadrillion, still no exceptions, leaving a long way to infinity. Good luck with that. That's the whole damn point of a proof, slurs the number theorist, collapsing backwards onto Fazoolie, who pushes the disheveled mathematician upright. It's true to infinity and forever. The mathematician loses balance again, Jonnie stepping out of the way this time and letting him hit the carpet. Fazoolie thinks to infinity and forever is an epic rallying cry, if a tad redundant. He also thinks the shout out has a Disney-esque Buzz Lightyear kind of zing, while wondering for a moment about the difference between math used to describe the world and the world itself. Determinism, in whatever form, has always bugged the shit out of Jonnie. Free will might be an illusion, but one he believes in unless he can use fate as another lame excuse for fucking up. Seems cracking the Riemann hypothesis might also be connected to cracking his Bitcoin. Everyone's Bitcoin, because if proven true, would confirm the bounds of prime distribution. That's a really big deal because the prime factorization of large numbers is encryption's foundation. Prove the RH true, and the keys to the primes could be yours, along with the world's wallet. Jonnie doesn't give a shit about the math, but his bright blue eyes light up when he hears this Riemann Riz could unlock every password on the planet. If the transfinite reality engine bombs, a new scam awaits. What I want to know, shouts an inebriated particle physicist, jumping onto the bar top, spilling drinks and scattering peanuts, is how the fuck does gluon binding energy warp space-time? Go ahead and build another multi-billion-euro accelerator to find out, screams an even more annihilated solid-state chemist, grabbing him by the legs. You write more papers than I shit. Andale, shouts the irate bartender, pouring a round of shots for the entire mob, his boisterous expression reminding Jonnie of Speedy Gonzales, precursor to other ADHD cartoon fan faves. Fazoolie is eager for more fun with his frazzled friends when the front doors of the conference room burst open and outrush a gaggle of bedraggled and befuddled physicists and cosmologists. Call an ambulance! Is there a doctor on the premises? Fulcrum will win the Nobel Prize for this. I've never seen such a load of horseshit in my life. The eclectic and eccentric group at the bar gape in wonder as dozens more attendees stampede out of the conference room, many struggling for cell phone receptions, eager to connect. Media people follow, clutching their own phones, dragging bulkier video and audio gear to set back up again in the lobby, presumably to capture the erupting action and do interviews. As the witnesses of Fulcrum's demo rush out, those who didn't see his talk want to enter to determine what the fuss is about, but can't, creating a logjam of beautiful minds jockeying in a lobby. Hoping for Basine to show, she doesn't, bumming Jonnie out. Even though only a few minutes ago he was angry at her and dismissive to the point he didn't even want to see the show. That leaves him with the string theorists, quantum loop gravity adherents, twister enthusiasts, holographists, entropic gravitists, and spin foam modelers with whom he wants to arm wrestle. Gasps and shouts coming from inside the main conference hall and awkward giggles at the lobby bar encourage him to finally check things out. The attendees on the brink of pandemonium. Just before making his move, Johnny's phone buzzes. His heart leaps with the hope Sato is calling him back. But he instead gets another dose of heartache with his ex-wife calling him again. Hi, he says, wondering why he picked up. Jonnie, it's Julie. I know. You picked up. Yeah, I have no idea why. Because you love to talk to me? I'm traveling now. I heard you lost your apartment. Not an apartment, a penthouse. Not anymore. Can I call you back? He says, loud sirens nearby dopplering in. When we were together, oh boy, here she goes. You were much more responsible. You had savings, and I'm the one who taught you how to build up your 401k. Do you remember? Sure, I remember and appreciated that, but now I gotta go. The fossilized remains of his obliterated retirement savings and his still unpaid taxes on it seem quaint. The sirens get louder and he sees local police and EMS vehicles pulling up outside. What's going on there? She asks, hearing them on her side too. What did you do this time? Are you all right? I worry about you, Jonnie Fazoolie. You always seem to land on your feet, but thanks for calling. No, you're not. Thanks for another fun listen. Looks like a few things are reaching their head. A, Jonnie broke. B, whatever's going on in this conference, over the top. C, his ex-wife calling him, always a good sign. And D, whatever happened to the German dominatrix scientist? Inquiring listeners like you probably want to know. Until tomorrow. Thanks again. No hair, all heart. Readings from Jonnie Fazoolie and the Transfinite Reality Engine. Lucky you. Back tomorrow.